everybody. This is Kyra, and I'm here with another episode of Inside Look. I want to start this off by thanking everyone who saw the last video and either liked it or commented on it and encouraged me to keep going. I really wanted to do the series, that's why I started off with the Boomer episode, but I wasn't entirely sure if anyone would have liked it. In my back of my head, I was like, I'm sure someone's going to be like, oh, she's did another Boomer video, like, can she do something original for once? Can she find something else to do? Does she have a life that she can work on for it? But you guys were very encouraging, and I'm really thankful that you guys want to see more, because this is a fun series for me to do, and I'm hoping it's fun for all of you to watch. So I am also going to mention that I am not a developer, so none of these videos are like should be taken as, oh, this is what's going to happen. I'm mostly looking at all information we have been given. I'm just a lowly CT grunt. I don't decide the characters and the story. It's only what they give us, and I piece it together from there, along with my hopes and headcanons and all that. So don't go running around saying, oh, well, in this video you said this about Legacy, and no. Everything is supposed to be factual, okay? So don't go running around with that. As you can clearly tell, this is a episode about Jack. Now, Season 5 is not confirmed for Legacy. Now remember what I said about just a moment ago about, me being not a dev and all of that? So Season 5 is still deconfirmed for the game. However, in terms of his character, we can still examine what Season 5 showed us and get a look at it. So, don't go running off saying, oh, Season 5 is going to be in Legacy. It's not. I just want to talk about what we saw in Season 5 related to his character as a person. Okay? So, obviously, we're going to be talking about Season 5, so that's spoiler alert. That's the only spoiler alert you're getting. If you haven't seen it, but you keep watching the video, you can't complain to me about it later. That was your choice. I already warned you. So, hopefully you guys will enjoy this. I certainly love Jack, because he's one of my favorites. He's always been a favorite of mine. I no longer have hierarchies. I used to have like a number 1 and 2 and all that, but no. It's now my favorites are just clumped together. They're favorites, and that's it. There's no 1, 2, or 3. So let's start off with his role in the show. He is obviously the main character. His name is the title of the show. The story is focused on him, so it's very easy to understand. He is also the only one capable of ending Aku. This is mostly thanks to his katana, which is a magical katana crafted by the 3 gods, Rama, Ra, and Odin. Pretty sure I said that right. He was sent from the past to the future, and he is now traveling Aku's world, where Aku took over, and it's run by him. And I'll discuss what this does to him as a character much later on, where his personality is pinpointed there. And the whole show is basically him trying to go home while righting the wrongs that Aku has done, and also defeating Aku, since the opening sequence reminds us that Aku was literally on his last lifeline when Jack was about to deal the last blow, and then they sent him off. So, which I don't know why people got so furious with Season 5's ending when he did go to the past. Like, the show for 4 seasons pretty much told you what would happen if he went back. So, I don't know. We're not here to discuss that. We are now going to talk about his role in the game. And I should mention, I'm mostly pulling from from the original, because that's where his plot line is. Not much news has been shown for him in Legacy, but it can be implied that the missions will still be the same. So his storyline is still the same from the original to Legacy. So as far as his role in the game, he can be found in I put 3 places. He was in the future, the past, and the academy, but he was also in the tutorial. He is one of the few characters in the game that can be found in the tutorial, the future, the past, and the academy. Just think about that for a moment. That they picked this character and they're like, all right, he's got to be in all 4 places. I mean, it makes sense for him to be in the future or the tutorial in the academy. And I guess you can even say it makes sense that he's in the future because, he was sent to the future in the show. But it's just kind of cool that, he's one of the few characters that can claim that they were in all 4. I don't know. I thought it was cool. He gives missions, obviously, because he is an NPC. But what is special is that he gives missions to 2 guides. He gives one to Dexter and Double D. He's more prominent in Dexter's than he is Double D's, but it's very important that he is. Like, that's just a really cool thing that he deals these missions for both of them, and both characters are considered some of the smartest. Now, Mojo Jojo is also smart, but he's mostly dealing with Haas and Mandy. Those, towards the end of the game, that's where you mostly go and get your missions from. And Tetrex was for Ben, so then Jack took on the role of helping both of them out. So, I don't know. I thought that's cool. Another thing he does. And as far as the story is concerned, he is also the first one to encounter the spawns. Now, the manga shows that Mojo Jojo was beaten down and put back to Earth because he had gone up against Fuse. It's very possible that he didn't actually go up against Fuse itself, but he saw the planet, and the planet was like, no, go away, and smacked him back to Earth. But in terms of the Fuse's army, Jack is the first one to encounter them, and he is also the first one to get a fusion because one of the spawnlings, when they were retreating, took his sandal and was like, bye, and took it with him and made a fusion. So it's kind of incredible that Jack has a lot of these feats that not many other of the characters can claim. I mean, he's found in 4 areas. He gives to 2 NPCs, and not NPCs, guides, and I should mention I'm not counting anything that the future guides did. That's totally separate, especially since the Academy update kind of wiped out the future, so thanks, Academy. But then he also gets to have the first encounter with the spawnlings, and as an effect, he gets a fusion. And obviously, because he has a fusion, he has a nano. I mean, come on. It's obvious. So we are now moving on to what is it about Jack that we like. And I forgot to mention at the start, and I'll do it here, this will be our last slide, or like last section. I know for Boomer I had another one, but it's not that I couldn't think of more for Jack. It's just that everything I need to say is on this one better. But after this, I will talk about something I want to do with him later. So please hold out just a little bit longer. Thanks, guys. So the first thing is that Jack is obviously the hero. I mean, he is. He goes about, he rescues people, he fights Aku's evil forces that are trying to destroy the world, and I mean, he's the hero, and we love heroes. And don't sit there and tell me, no, we don't, because go look at Marvel's box office, okay? Go look, real quick. I'll wait. See? I'll admit that villains are just as lovable. I mean, The Dark Knight is still one of the best superhero movies, not just for Batman, but for also the Joker. Like, we loved that Joker. But we also love the heroes because deep down we all want to be the hero. We want to be the hero of our story. Why do you think stories of heroism are so popular? Why do you think we award kids who stand up for themselves or stand up for others? It's a heroic thing, and we all want to be heroes. And as far as Jack's concerned, he's not just a hero, but he's also like a symbol of hope. It's more prominent in his show. Lost my thought. I've got too many things on my mind. In season 5, episode 6, which I termed the legacy episode, it became very important that it was shown how much Jack changed Aku's future. He went to the future where, because Jack could not fight Aku because the sword is the only thing that can stop Aku. Without Jack and the sword, Aku was able to rule, and because of this, the world is a dystopia. So Jack goes about and tries to right it. And as he does this, he liberates the people that were under effect, and we see it much later on. In season 5, we see the fruits of his labor. When Jack feels down about himself, and I kind of wish Jack had gone on this journey. It's great that Ashi did it because she gets to see firsthand the effect he has on others, and she went through the same thing. So for her, she's connecting on a more emotional level. But I would have loved to see Jack, who has been having such a rough 5 episodes, go and on that journey and see that, no, he made a difference. Because in season 5, the opening always talked about, he always mentioned how upset he was, and it's been 50 years and there's been no change, and Aku's just keep getting worse, and I'm not making a difference. And he just got so much down on himself because he's been unable to go home. He feels like nothing he's done has changed anything. He feels disheartened, and this episode would have been such a great boost for him. At the end, she informs him that, no, the kids aren't dead, and yes, look at all the things you've done. You've changed people. You've changed me. Is that not like an example of what you've done? And it brings him around, but I think the episode would have been so much more fun to see him do it. But personally for me, he is to the Cartoon Network universe, which what Superman is to the DC universe, and what Captain America is to the Marvel universe. He's the center. A lot of the heroes, when he's paired up in these crossovers, usually look to him. I mean, the fact that he's a mission giver for Dexter is kind of a big deal, because Dexter doesn't really believe in magic, or he's at least very critical of it because, he's a man of science. But he's very willing to let Jack take over towards the end and give out missions. Now, that's because Jack wants to help out finding heroes, but he went and turned to Jack for that help. It's a big deal. This ties in with him being highly respected. Like I said, in a lot of these crossovers, he's given a lot of respect. I can easily imagine that Tetrax and Jack have like a bond, like a friendship that Jack has with the Scotsman. I really wish we got to see more interactions with them. That'd be fun. But it also crosses over but it also spills out into 2 of the other crossovers, Punch Time Explosion and Super Secret Crisis War, which the latter I might do a video on itself, because that's a really fun comic book series. I really recommend it for anyone. But in the Punch Time Explosion, he's one of the last heroes you get. Captain Planet is the last one you get, but that's through a cutscene, so that doesn't count. Jack, you actually have to fight to turn him onto your side. And the heroes mention how incredibly strong he is, and how they feel much better with him on their side, that they can go and beat this mysterious Vilgax first, and then the mysterious force that caused all the issues. And even Ben was like, wow, I've fought some great warriors, but this guy, whoa, this is incredible. And we see that again in Super Secret Crisis War, where for the most part everyone has problems with each other, not like terribly bad, but there's just little feuds. Buttercup and Dexter have like the biggest feud with each other, which is actually hilarious. And then Bubbles doesn't have issues with them. But Blossom gets annoyed with Ben. Like at first she was like, oh, he's so great. And then as it keeps going on, she's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing all these terrible things? And so that's funny. But Jack is the only one that they don't have major issue with. And everyone kind of like looks up to him and they listen to him when he tells them something. And Ben even like consults with him about like, oh, we need to stop Aku and all of this, and let's just beat them up. And Jack's like, well, hold your horses, kid. This is a big deal. But it's important that Ben doesn't really ask anyone else for a second opinion. It's always Jack he asks for the opinion. And even at the end, Ben's like, I really miss Jack. That was a fun adventure we went on. Doesn't really make mention of the others, which is like, Ben, come on. You had such a great adventure with them. It's a fun comic book series. I'll talk about it later. This is not the Super Secret Crisis War video. This is the Jack video. But those are just examples outside of his actual show that show how respected he is. Like I already talked about, the game respects Jack so much that the developers put him in 4 sections, let him be an NPC or a mission giver for 2 guides, had him be the first one to encounter the spawns, and had him be the first one to get a fusion. That's just how respected everyone is, not just within the game, but outside of it too. He's one of the few shows that got not a reboot. He got his continuation after years of a cancellation. It came back. And you know what? People can say what they want. They can say the ending was rushed. They can say the whole series was rushed. They can say that the relationship was awful. The fact of the matter it was given the respect it deserved. It wasn't a reboot like the Teen Titans and the Powerpuff Girls, which are 2 obvious money grabs. And you know what? As much as I don't like the Ben 10 reboot, I will give it credit that it's at least trying to be an actual series and not just a cash grab that the franchise has turned into. But Jack came back and was given so much respect. That's just incredible. And what's fun is that Jack gives respect in the show as well, and in the series, and in the games, and everything. Every universe he's in, he gives respect back. And that's how he gets his respect. It's that golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated. He gives them respect, and they give it back. And this just makes him such a lovable character. Because not only is he the incredibly awesome, sword-wielding, bad guy fighting awesome guy, he's also incredibly emotional. He has his moments of being a complete dork. He's not the stoic, totally going to just not talk to anyone. He's very happy. He's very open. He is a dork. Go watch that rave episode again, not in season 5, but in the series, and just see how much of a dork he is, where he makes up his own dance moves just to integrate. And look at that stupid outfit he wears. All right? That's what makes him lovable. He's not just a one-dimensional character. He has multiple levels. He can change his demeanor at the drop of a hat. He can go from a totally lovable, smiling, and he's all happy, and then the next second he's like, oh, well, now I gotta just slice your head off. So, sorry. It's great. What's also great is, I was so excited to talk about all the other stuff, I kind of skipped over the hero. One of the things I remember reading a while back about Jack is someone saying that Jack should have just found the nearest time portal and went back. Like, when he had his multiple chances to just go back to the past, he should have done it, because then the future wouldn't have happened. But that's not Jack. That's not his character. He's not going to just go and do something like find the nearest time portal and leave Innocence abandoned, because one, until season 5, we didn't know how the future and how time travel was going to work. Was it going to be a stagnant thing, or was it going to be a butterfly effect? We didn't know up until season 5, which confirmed that, no, it was stagnant, that once he went back and changed the past, the future completely changed. But at the same time, Jack's not going to just ignore the help of the cries of Innocence and not go and deal with it. Season 5 shows that he started to do that. It's wearing him down, but we do see he still does it. It's just, it takes him longer. And at that point, that's what makes the whole season 5 even sadder for him, is that he's just so worn down. He doesn't think what he's doing will change anything, and so he just does it slowly. And I mean, he's relatable, because how many of us have felt like that? Like, we've done something for so long and it doesn't get us the results we thought it would, and we just feel like, well, why do we keep trying? Why are we trying? Why are we continuing to do this and it's not getting us anywhere? And that's why I think Jack is such an important show and an important character for us to role model ourselves after, because yeah, in season 5 and like the first episode, he did take forever to go to that village, but he eventually went. And when we first see him on screen outside of the opening, he still went and saved a small family from those bugs, the robot bugs. And we even see that the reason why he left was because in episode 5 was because he thought he had killed the children. Like, that had weighed on him so bad that was his final straw. He still took that to heart, even if he was slowly going about it. Even if what he was doing wasn't giving him the results he wanted, he was still going for it. And when he failed, it killed him inside. And that's very important, because he's a determinator, or however they call it. But through adversity, he still went and did it. When he first showed up in the future, he was completely he was a fish out of water. He didn't know what anything was, but that didn't stop him from still trying to fight Aku and try to stop him and stop the forces. He still did it. He took on the burden and just nodded his head and said, all right, gotta go do with it. And even season 5, even though he was slow to respond, he still took on the burden and said, okay, I gotta go deal with it. So I can't think of anything else I want to say for Jack, because it's just, his character is just so much fun, and I feel like I've got to the point of what I want to make. I feel like I talked more about him in the show than the game, and I feel so bad for that. But the two are kind of interchangeable as far as the original is concerned. Because he is one of those weird things where his show won't make too much sense, so they just melded some things to fit with him. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And before I go, I will talk about what I want to do with Jack later on. I want to make a video about interactions I want between characters. And Jack is the first one on my list, because to me, Jack is the mentor character. Grandpa Max totally fits that bill too. He does. But I feel Jack fits it better for other characters. I've mentioned it before. I want him to mentor Boomer, and I even want him to mentor Finn. And so I want to talk about these interactions. So it's going to be another whole series by itself. Got to put some stuff while I wait for Picks of the Day to come back, you know. But I want to hear your opinions on if that's a good idea, or if I should just stop and maybe just do it on the forums. I want to hear your guys' opinion on Jack too. I want to know, what else about him do you love? What is it about his character that speaks to you and makes you enjoy him and his series so much? I want to have conversations, and maybe we'll do a video of a special guest, and we'll talk about his character. Because I would love to talk about Jack with other people. Maybe we'll try to get a group call going, and it's not just one person, it's a few others. We'll do a group. But that will actually be it for me. I'm really sorry if this let you down. I'm not trying to let anyone down. I really do love Jack, and I hope I got it across in here about his character and about some of the things that make him such an awesome character, and why he's I would argue, one of the most beloved characters of Cartoon Network's run. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. So I will catch you guys all on the forums. Bye-bye.